Hey, what's up? In this video, I just want to talk to you about some of the things that I did for my gut health, and that journey that I have went through for my gut health, where I went from like not a very good place, where I was having a lot of reflux and a lot of discomfort, to a place where I am much, much better. And I'll tell you right now, I went from not being able to eat gluten without feeling completely swollen and bloated to being able to eat pizza and pretty much anything that I want to without having negative side effects. So the first part of this that I want to chat about is where I was. And so was in a place where I could not eat gluten. If I did eat gluten, I would feel like I would swell up. I'd get really, really tired. This would include like beer, for example. And I don't drink a lot, but when I would drink even a beer, I would feel like I had this pulsating, like swelling gut. And what I probably had going on was leaky gut. And now I was never formally diagnosed with this, but just looking at my symptoms and the stuff that I was experiencing, that's probably what was going on, was leaky gut. And so I was having a lot of issues again with, if I would eat, not only would I get that sort of like swelling, almost like pulsating sense that would not only be in my gut, but also my hands. I'd feel this like throbbing, but I would also have issues with indigestion. So like heartburn and feeling like my food was coming up. And so those symptoms caused me to go keto. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to cut out a bunch of different foods. So I cut out things like, breads, the wheats, anything that was gluten, cut all that stuff out. And I even actually started to do some of the like cutting out lectins, so cutting out things like nightshades. I noticed when I went to eat Mexican one night, for instance, I had eaten some tomato, and I also got indigestion from that. And so I was like, okay, gosh, I'm going to start not only doing keto, but I'm also going to cut out any food that would be high in lectins. So if you're not familiar with Dr. Gundry and his whole diet plan, that's where that stems from. Is okay, certain plants especially are going to have these lectins, like almost like poisons, that are defense mechanisms, and our gut is not designed to be able to digest those. So mind you, the entire time that I'm going through this, I also am taking like probiotics. So I'd already tried to start taking better care of my gut health. I was not, just totally blasting my gut with everything terrible. I was trying to do some good stuff even when I was not eating according to like a keto diet or a Gundry diet. I was taking probiotics. And so, I didn't necessarily notice any benefits from that. And it wasn't until I started weightlifting and discovered L-Glutamine, which is an amino acid. I started taking that in fairly large doses, again, for weightlifting. So recovery, it's actually been shown to be good for helping prevent like a drop in your immune system. And so bodybuilders will take it for immune system building. So now keep in mind, everything I'm talking about here is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to recommend that you do anything that I'm talking about here. Always talk to your doctor first. I'm just sharing my experience. So this is entertainment purposes only, right? But I started dosing with up to like 30 grams of glutamine per day. And I did this for maybe about a month. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and eat like some pizza. I forget the exact food, but it was something that would normally make me miserable. I think it was pepperoni pizza. And what I found was all of a sudden I had no gut issues from it. So it was like normally that would wreck me. So I'm expecting to get wrecked, and all of a sudden I'm fine. And I started going, well, what have I done differently? Because even when I was on keto for some period of time, it didn't really heal my gut. Now, I will tell you, I did some during the period of time that I was doing keto and Gundry, and even still I do intermittent fasting. And so that I do think gives my gut time to repair itself and helps it sort of relax from all the hard work that it does. But even with all that stuff, going keto, the Gundry, the intermittent fasting, anytime that I would go back to eat something, to cheat, I would regret it. But now all of a sudden after glutamine, I'm like totally fine. I wheat and gluten and tomato sauce and all the things that would normally wreck me, and I was totally fine. And so as I began to think, like, what have I done differently? The only thing that I can think of that was any different was the fact that I had done the L-Glutamine in a large dosage. And come to find out, as I was doing more research, it's actually the case that L-Glutamine has been shown, Again, this is in studies. L-glutamine has been shown to heal leaky gut. So my thinking is, okay, I took this L-glutamine, all of a sudden it healed my gut, and now I can eat gluten and wheat and all this stuff, and it doesn't really bother me. And to this day, this has now been about a year and maybe a year and a half since I started taking L-glutamine, and now I can pretty much eat wheat, gluten, tomatoes, any of that. And maybe on a rare occasion, I might get a little bit of mild reflux. Very, very rarely. I can think of maybe 2 times in the last year and a half that I've actually gotten reflux. And it's usually from some pretty fiery Mexican food, so every once in a while, not too bad. But the point being is the L-glutamine was what I believe allowed the lining of my gut to drastically heal. Now, the one other supplement that, again, taking it by itself, I didn't notice a big difference with, but I'm skeptical that it may have added to some of the benefits, was zinc L-carnosine, which goes by the name of Pepzin. So Doctor's Best, I believe, is the brand that I took, that has a lot of good benefits for gut lining. They say it can help with that. Whether or not that was actually what did it for me, or if that added to it or anything, I don't really know. But I just want to be transparent with you that was another supplement that I was taking. Now, I've taken other supplements, from simple stuff like vitamin C all the way through lion's mane mushroom and cordyceps. And so I'd never, even with taking those for years and years and years, never noticed any gut benefits. Now, I've seen in certain places where people talk about mushrooms are a good prebiotic. I don't know. All I know is L-glutamine came in the picture, and suddenly I'm like drastically better. Now, I don't still take super large doses. I might take anywhere from like 3 to 6 grams 5 days a week of the glutamine. Again, just smaller doses for the purpose still of bodybuilding. So just keeping the immune system up. What I think is crazy though is, you think about it, if your gut's healthy, your immune system is going to stay up, because your immune system largely is manufactured in your gut. So I just thought that was super interesting from a bodybuilding perspective. The reason it probably does help with recovery is because of its effects on the gut. Now, that's my journey so far. The next things that I've started into and are looking at, and this is for no, specific symptom. This is just more so seeing if I can get things better somehow. Whether or not I can, I don't know. I'm just kind of wondering if maybe I can improve my gut and maybe it helped me with more energy. I don't know. I'm just experimenting. And so prebiotic has been one of the things I've started looking more at, as well as adding some fiber in. I've already started the prebiotic, have not started adding in extra fiber. The reason I got interested in fiber is because as I've been weightlifting, I have consumed more protein shakes, and what I've noticed is sometimes I substitute that for actual food, and so I get less fiber in my diet. So, that's another thing that's, again, specific to me, that I'm not looking for a specific gut health improvement on, although I expect it to possibly be the case. The other thing that I've started looking into is BCP 157, which is a peptide, essentially a sequence of amino acids. And I'm looking into that for both taking it orally, probably experiment with it a little bit orally, because I've known people and I've seen anecdotal evidence that it's gotten really, really good. It's given them really good results for gut healing. And then also looking at potentially injecting it more so for body healing. So like tendon, and I've had some rotator cuff stuff over the years that I've done physical therapy for, and I'm like, I kind of want to heal that up, and and I've heard people doing it and then suddenly getting drastic results from doing that. So BCP 157, it could, cause some things to happen. There's been a lot of anecdotal evidence that says it can help with gut health, and so we'll see. But my journey so far has come pretty far from bad indigestion, bloating, all the not fun stuff, to now where I rarely, very rarely have any issues, and being able to go from not being able to tolerate wheat/gluten to now being able to eat it with basically no problem at all. And I still do intermittent fast, mostly because it feels good. I just think that sometimes, it's like we eat and eat and eat, and the gut gets kind of tired, and it's good to let it reset. So that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching this. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.